Exciting day today because there's a motor that I've been working on for a little while now. It was the $2,000 challenge motor for, it's got to be normally aspirated. See if you can make 500 horsepower. Quite the fiscal challenge for sure. Been a good time. Really enjoyed getting creative, thinking outside the box of how I can make 500 horsepower and not spend any money, you know? I mean, there's just cost involved. But anyways, we gave it our best shot and we had some fun doing it. The problem is now we need a test rig. We got to be able to put this thing in something. Well, we got to start it up. We got to fire it up. We got to break it in. We got to make sure there's no leaks. We got to test it. We got to get it in operating running condition because that's not time that we want to spend on a dyno. We're not looking to pay for dyno time, just breaking in a motor. We'd rather have the motor all broken in, everything all sorted out, maybe our basic tune on the motor, at least what we think is going to work for us the best. Then let's take it over to the dyno. We'll pay for that time, start making some of the changes that we think could or could not make the difference and dial it in. In the meantime, you know, having a nice little test rig in your shop to be able to take that engine, put it on that stand, fire it up, run it, kind of work out the bugs ahead of time. Very advantageous. Well, you know, I never really had one of those. I suppose I could build one fairly easily. But let me show you my idea and my kind of a test rig. So this is my idea of a test rig. What do you guys think? That'll make a nice little test rig, don't you think? This happens to be a 78 Camaro that we kind of disassembled and started working on. Actually, we started working on this car about 20 years ago and then put it on the back burner because things came up in life and we kind of just put it in storage. We haven't done anything with it in a long time. So we decided, you know what, it's time to get the Camaro out. And we're now putting a little bit of money back in this thing just so that we can throw this small block in here and see what she does. You know, at least break it in. Use this car to break the motor in before we take it over to the dyno. And we figured, you know what? It became the motivation to, you know, let's just get it back on the road. And to me, that is my kind of test rig. But as you can see here, we have the engine and we're about to install it and put it in the car. Stay tuned.
Machine. Yes, I wanna be.
Well, YouTube, welcome to Blue Collar Builds. I'm Dave, and last night I was putting the motor in the Camaro, and it looks as though that's not going to happen. At least not yet, anyway. So the good news is that you're going to get to see how we notch a frame. We're about a quarter inch off as far as clearance that we need for that particular motor, for that pan to clear. Right now it's sitting on the motor mounts, but the pan is impinging a little bit on the frame itself, and it's keeping the back end of the motor up in the air, not allowing it to mate up with the transmission. So we will be doing a notching of the frame. I'm so excited. It's always something, isn't it? You know, fit, refit, never ends. But this is the craft that we love. So I enjoy every moment. I always remind myself, you know, I could be digging ditches. Well, as you can see, there is our clearance problem. You can see where the pan is actually touching the frame. I guess you're going to get the opportunity to see us notch it. So that'll happen in the next episode. And thanks for tuning in. Well, YouTube, we're almost there. Thanks for tuning in to Blue Collar Builds. And in the very next episode, we will attack notching that frame so that we can get this motor installed and start moving on to some of the other logistics that have to happen to get this up and running. And we need that done sooner than later. So I've got to go. Got work to do. You're welcome anytime. You know that. Beer's in the fridge.